Hello, today I'm going to talk about shadow dancing with the prostitute archetype. And I first want to explain a little bit of what the prostitute archetype is and what I mean when I say that. And I want you to not put this in a context of a male or a female energy. I want you to put this in the context of an energy where one, you, me, any of us will negotiate our power for fear of survival. And survival, as we know, can look in various different ways. It could be the literal survival of life, but it also has to do with the survival of just even everyday living, of feeling that in some ways that we're struggling with trust and we're struggling with faith in our life, and faith in terms of that we aren't able to produce what it is that we need to produce, and therefore we'll negotiate our power and sell ourselves out to the highest bidder so that we can get the comforts or get whatever needs that we feel that we're not getting met within ourselves, that we don't feel confident to create. And the prostitute archetype shows up when we are in a relationship, when we choose to be in a relationship or stay in a relationship where in some way we're negotiating our power. And what I mean by negotiating our power is that feeling like, I have conversations with people that I come across, and sometimes, many times, this scenario of staying in a relationship because financially I can't afford to be on my own. And while that is a very real thing, that is also a very karmic thing with individuals of like, this is part of their karma. Anything that we're struggling and working with in our lives has everything to do with karma. And I don't want to go off on the whole karma subject, but just in brief, it's important not to look at karma as something that is negative and something that is being done to us in a victimizing kind of a way, because we've all come here, and this is my belief, we've all come here to work on certain things in our lives, and we have certain themes to our lives, even if we really pay attention to those patterns. And so for many of us, we're going to be facing the prostitute archetype, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in choosing a job or staying in a job that we don't want to be in, but we take certain amounts of disempowering like outside influences and that come toward us, hey Tom, that come toward us and that really are not serving our soul. So in that way, it's like we are negotiating our power. And for those of us that are in business, there will be some times when we'll take clients and we know it's really not our ideal client, but we'll do it because of fear of money, right? A fear of survival. And that is the prostitute archetype. So I wanted to bring this up because this is something that just, came to me this morning in terms of something that I've been thinking about on my own and working through a situation of where I really felt like I missed out on something that was occurring. And yet at the same time, I knew deep underneath is that it was, it's like holding the little, like the carrot in front of us and going, ooh, I like that, or the shiny object. Ooh, I want the shiny object, but at what cost does it come that if you grab that shiny object? And what I knew about this situation was that it really was an environment that I prefer to be in. I felt like it could have been a good opportunity, for my business, but yet at the same time, I was going to have to sacrifice something. I was going to have to disempower myself. I was going to put myself in a situation that I didn't want to be in. And so I chose, of course, to just lay back and just go ahead and detach from it. And then there was something else that occurred in that situation where it was like, ooh, I later found out it's like, ooh, that could have been really cool. And so it activated my prostitute archetype this morning. And I was like, no, wait a minute, Teresa, get yourself aligned here again. Because what you knew is that if you were to put yourself in this particular situation, you would have been self-sacrificing yourself in a way. You would have been negotiating your own power. You would have not been trusting that you cannot create what it is that you want to create on your own. So take a look at that for yourself. And that's what I mean about shadow dancing, is look at the shadow of your prostitute archetype. How are you currently in your life selling yourself out in a situation where you know that that's what you're doing, and you're there because of some form of fear of making a different choice? And we've all been in this situation before. I've been in it. I've been in it in terms of relationship situations and knew I was doing it the whole time. And I tell you, it took a lot for me to get out of it. But what I do know about these types of situations is that when we finally make the choice to set ourselves free, number one, we have worked this karmic piece for our life. And number two, we become more aligned. And the very thing that we feared, of course, if we stay in the fear, we will create a bigger fear around that, whether it's financial or whatever that may be. And for me, when I was in a relationship at one point in my life, it was a financial thing. It's like I knew I needed to get out, but there was just no way I felt like I could do it on my own. And I had to make some sacrifices without a doubt to do it. But in the end, everything unfolded in a way that was better than I could imagine, because I had no idea what to even imagine, period, because I felt like I was going to be going down a rabbit hole. And so that's part of making a choice and stepping into the unknown, because what we do know about the unknown is the place of unlimited potential, because the known world is the place of where what we know, and that is where potential, it's like what we already know has limitation, and what we don't know has no limitation. So I want to invite you to take a look at your prostitute archetype and determine whether really, if your archetype is either a male or a female for you. And it doesn't matter if you're a male or female yourself, but your prostitute archetype has an energy to it. And it is going to show up and alarm you. And I don't mean alarm as in scare, but alarm you to when you are selling yourself out, for when you're not trusting your own, the fact that you cannot create this on your own, that you need somebody else to create for you. So, just some food for thought today I wanted to share. And let's see, is there anything else that I wanted to bring up? Oh, the other thing is that if we're in the prostitute archetype energy and we are selling out, we are in scarcity. We are in lack. We are not in flow. We are not in abundance. We are not in prosperity. We are in a lack mentality, and we will start to see the lack and the scarcity in other areas of our life. Okay. All right. Namaste. Thanks for listening. Bye, Augustine.